After the thrilling season opener in Australia, we move over to the Middle East as we continue the fantasy season here at the Bahrain International Circuit for round 2 of our campaign. It was a brilliant start, but now it's time to go to another amazing venue which has 5.4 kilometers, 3.3 miles ahead, 57 laps coming our way in total, and it's going to be some incredible race around this 15-turn racetrack. The 15th corner they're not really worrying about because it's that little kink onto our start-finish straight, which is our best overtaking opportunity, and if you can't do it there, you have turn number 4 as well. We've got the C3, the C2, the C1, the softs, mediums, and hards. That is the hardest in the Pirelli range as we take a look at the Sakir International Circuit, hoping to create our own version of the duel in the desert by the end of today. And on the evidence of our season opener, it's going to be competitive, it's going to be quite a lot of fun. Our starting grid will once again see Isaac Hadjar starting in 20th position. Andrea Kimi Antonelli is the driver alongside in 19th. Yuki Tsunoda once again finds himself in 18th, along with Jack Doohan, who will go from 17th. That's 3 drivers who start in the exact same places as they did in Australia. Lance Stroll is in 16th, he's alongside Gabriel Bortoletto, who will go from 15th on the grid. Ollie Behrman is alongside Lando Norris. Lando Norris, a driver who would have been disappointed to find himself out in Q2. He'll hope to try and recover today, and he is directly behind Carlos Sainz and Liam Lawson. Those 2 drivers are on the road just outside our top 10. Set top 10 sees Oscar Piastri in 10th alongside Hulkenberg, a great result in qualifying yesterday by him. Fernando Alonso finds himself in 80th alongside George Russell, who this time does start in the top 10 unlike Albert Park. And then it's Alexander Albon, another great performance from him in 6th. Esteban Ocon will go from 5th position on the grid. As we move over to our top 2 rows on the grid, the 2 friends of Gasly and Leclerc start in 4th and 3rd position. And our front row, we'll see Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, our old rivals, reunited at the front of the field. The tension is building. Alexander Albon looking to see whether he can score some good points by the end of today for Williams. And it's going to be interesting to see how they all handle it. Charles Leclerc will be looking to try and get another victory, and he'll try and make it 2 wins to start this season. Max Verstappen has something to say about it. I cannot wait to see what he's going to be able to do as well, as he looks to try and stay ahead of Lewis Hamilton on the run towards Tyre 1. And Gasly, can he put some pressure on? Can he get a special podium? And we're about to find out as we look to the lights. And Formula 1 is racing at Bahrain International. A great reaction time from Charles Leclerc. He's cleared his teammate. He's cleared Max Verstappen to lead into the first turn. What a getaway from Charles Leclerc. The fast starter from Australia is the fast starter in Bahrain. Lewis Hamilton runs wheel to wheel with Max Verstappen as we go down towards turn number 4 on this circuit. And that is going to be brave stuff. They're wheel to wheel. Can Verstappen keep his foot in? Hamilton won't want to give it up. He wants to make it a Ferrari 1-2. Verstappen's inching in front. Lewis doesn't give it up. They still remain wheel to wheel, side by side, and Max Verstappen has 2nd place. Hamilton in 3rd. Gasly is in 4th position, but that was unbelievable stuff off the line for Charles Leclerc to hit the front of the field immediately in the race. Well, I knew he had a good start compared to Hamilton, but I didn't know that he was going to get Verstappen with so much ease at that part of the circuit. Leclerc's pulling up the road. The Ferraris are on the charge. Hamilton to the inside he looks. Verstappen won't want to give it up. They are going to go side by side through the fast turn number 12. Does Hamilton finally get the position that he would have wanted earlier on? And it's Verstappen with the inside. Lewis Hamilton will be shown the curb, and the longer that these 2 battle, it could open the door for Gasly. And we were checking in with him pre-race, and we were talking about how he would love to get a podium. Right now though, he's having to stare at the back of Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. One of the starts of the season. We can immediately lock that one in. Charles Leclerc, say goodbye to Hamilton, say goodbye to Max Verstappen, say hello to the race lead. That was phenomenal stuff from the Scarlet Ferrari. The Monegasque driver picks his braking spot with absolute ease to get to the front of the field. And well, we didn't see that moment because we were so into Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, but Leclerc nearly losing it. Well, that would have been a terrible moment having taken that race lead. This is how it looked like from Lewis Hamilton. I originally thought that was Hamilton who was going to challenge Verstappen at the front, which yes he did, but Leclerc was able to make it a battle for second place instead of the lead, because he was just able to get up further up the road. And then Hamilton, wheel to wheel with Max as they made their way through. He inched in front at this point. Verstappen with the overspeed, definitely deploying a bit of the battery down there to the fourth turn of the circuit. And they got on the power, still, with nothing between the pair. It always gets tight down into turn number 6, 7 and 8. And finally Verstappen had the position, and then they continued down towards turn number 11 later on as well, which was absolutely unbelievable. Okay, we're going to look on board with Gasly. You're going to see, of course, Charles Leclerc storming right to the lead. And for Gasly, it was an alright reaction time, nothing special. He didn't come under massive pressure down into the down off the start. Nothing much into turn 1, but it gives us a good view in terms of what was going on directly ahead. And he would have been like, "Oh, come on, guys, continue with this." And also at the same time, he would be like, "Well, don't battle too much, or we're going to let Charles Leclerc run away with this Grand Prix." Gasly knows how it's like to get on the top step like he did in Las Vegas. What a special victory it was that day to beat Charles Leclerc in our fantasy season. He would love another victory, and once again it would be under the lights. DRS open for Lewis Hamilton, closing in on Max Verstappen, going to the inside into the first turn. Lewis Hamilton attempting to go past Max Verstappen, who doesn't give it up through the opening 3 turns of the circuit. Next up, turn number 4. We mentioned how the battles could continue down to this part of the circuit. Hamilton has to go the long way round. He will be committed. They will be millimeters away from contact surely by the time they stand on the power. Verstappen with the inside. Can he stay ahead? Hamilton keeping his foot to the floor through that part of the circuit, and this time he'll be the driver who will squeeze out Max Verstappen and take the position by the time we get down to turn number 8. It's a Ferrari 1-2 in Bahrain. Max Verstappen is going to be pulling alongside Lewis Hamilton and retaking the second place, and we're going to get Gasly for company. It's going to be a big brawl to turn number 1. Albon is in there as well. That's late on the brakes. George Russell's arriving out of absolutely nowhere. Hamilton is bogged down so many positions. Alexander Albon trying to stand on the power and take the position away from the Ferrari. Ferrari versus Williams, and it's Williams who come out on top. Albon just ahead. What on earth took place down at turn number 1? A Ferrari 1-2 turns to a Ferrari 1-6. He got swallowed. That's what no DRS does. That's the view of the whole field attacking. Russell to the inside, Albon to the outside. Unbelievable racing to turn number 1 in this battle for second place. We already had one Ferrari out of shape to that part of the circuit. There's another one. And Albon going through as well. My word, this season is like something else. Gasly trying to attack the team that of course demoted him earlier on in his career, and at this point it will be second place for Gasly. I mean, at this point it's not even really much of a battle in terms of second. We knew that position was going to change with ease. It does become a battle when we see more contenders though. Here we go. George Russell putting the pressure on. Max Verstappen starting to really lose some time. Gasly's gone further up the road, and Russell now. Well, these two drivers, absolute rivals with each other. And Verstappen's ahead. Alexander Albon though versus Lewis Hamilton. To turn number 8 we go. Can Albon stand on the power and make this attraction race down to turn number 10 on this circuit? Is he feeling brave? Wheel to wheel. Does Hamilton keep his foot in? They both make their way through the corner, but the inside line is slightly pinched for Alexander Albon, and it means that Lewis Hamilton stands on the power and will maintain the place. Hamilton used to be part of the Mercedes team. He used to be teammates with George Russell. Now he's in the Ferrari. Now he's banging wheels down to turn number 14. There's very nearly contact between the two of them. They were definitely banging wheels, but it was so tight. And now as we come across the line, they both got DRS. Hamilton versus Russell to turn number 1 of this Bahrain International Circuit. Who's going to have the place? Russell stands at the power. He gets the inside through turn 3. He gets the position back, and a full car length ahead he goes. Alex Albon now looks to see whether his opportunity will be there, whether he's got a chance. Here comes Lewis Hamilton. This is battle galore. It's what we promised to you in Bahrain International. It's what we're getting. Hamilton finally goes past Russell. And can Russell do anything to come back? Can he now defend from Alexander Albon? Let's take a look at a replay. And this was George Russell seeing Hamilton dart left, dart right, sell the dummy, but go through on the outside and pick his braking spot perfectly, full car length in front. This battle still not done yet. Here comes George Russell to the outside, to the grass, now to the inside. And is it going to be a lot more simpler this time around? You're watching the Mercedes and the Ferrari go at it in our second round of the season. And now standing on the power, George Russell surely will have the place. No DRS for Lewis Hamilton means he's vulnerable to Alexander Albon. And Alexander Albon stands on the power. Can he now take this position? It's not been going Hamilton's way, has it? As we make our way through, it's so tight. Albon will get the inside if he can just keep his foot and he has to back out of it. It's the nature of that part of the circuit. This is Ollie Behrman. And Ollie Behrman slowing. That is a huge disappointment. He was making his way through. Momentarily got in the Racing Bulls way as well. He was trying to enter the pit lane and it's like, hurry up, get on with it. Down this start finish straight we go. There's Lewis Hamilton at the front of your picture, looking further back though to see the move from Esteban Ocon, sending it up the inside, expecting room from Alexander Albon, getting room from Alexander Albon, but the room wasn't enough to take the place. Albon maintains that position. The yellow flags are flying here on lap number 23. And is that another car blowing up at this part of the circuit? It was Behrman originally. Now it is Isaac Hadjar. Not going the rookie's way, is it, so far, in terms of failures at this part of the circuit? So you go to 14, you go to that little kink of 15, and that's the moment where he realised that the gearbox was gone, as he tells you on the radio. And that's what brought his Bahrain Grand Prix to an early close. Here comes Esteban Ocon. You can see that he's closing in with DRS. The drag reduction system gets him alongside, gets him ahead. But it's going to be a battle into the braking zone, because you can see on the right hand side the Williams are still there. It's no longer there though. It might be though. By the time we get down to turn 4, can he send it? Can he make the move? Ocon just moving that little slight bit. Here comes Lewis Hamilton. And he'll go to the outside. It is getting dramatic. I mean, you'd expect with DRS down to turn 1 there would be one clear way a driver would go. They're trying to make it very dramatic by darting left, right, trying to catch each other out. And this time around, Hamilton takes 4 away from George Russell, who's got the DRS to fight back. He's closing in. Has to settle in behind as we head down to turn 4 and stare at the rear wing of that Ferrari for a little bit more. Who's ready for some more side-by-side between Alexander Albon and Esteban Ocon? And this time around, it's resulted in the favour of Alex, who is able to move on by, and that's the position that he's been able to take. Out of the final corner we go. Down the start finish straight. You've got Piastri in there as well. Well, we all know what's coming next. Oh! That is spin! It's Charles Leclerc! Charles Leclerc from the race lead has spun around! I do not believe it! Gasly takes the lead as Charles Leclerc loses it! What on earth has happened there for the Monegasque driver who had control of this race ever since he got the start? He finds himself round. We're heading down to turn 4, and this is the moment that sees the race lead fall away, and it was a spin! It was a spin for Charles Leclerc, and there's the moment which he sees Gasly go on by. Unbelievable drama in this race. It was dramatic from 2nd down to 20th. Now, include first in that as well. Unbelievable. Here we go. Heading down to retirement corner at this stage, aren't we? Maybe we can reword that in a few moments, because we've just seen it overtake directly ahead. And that was Jack Doohan who moved on by surely. And here we go, we're getting the toe and we're making a double overtake down into the first turn. We mentioned that's how close it can be when we arrive down to this braking zone. Superb wheel-to-wheel action, tyre hooking, tyre locking, absolutely everything going on, all action through that opening part of the circuit as we made our way down towards turn 4. He may have lost the lead. He wants to take it back. He's prepared to go tight to the inside. Charles Leclerc goes wheel to wheel with Pierre Gasly. And Gasly gets his elbows out, pushes Leclerc onto the curb, who will now fight back towards turn 4. But it's the drag reduction system belonging to the Alpine. Leclerc doesn't need it. Leclerc's prepared to go around the outside to take the lead. What a superb move from Charles Leclerc at the place where we had the spin. It's the lead reinstated for the Monegasque driver, and this is how he did it. As I mentioned, went tight to the inside. It's a circuit which, of course, if we remember back to 2017 Formula 2, he pulled off that master class strategy to make a pit stop in a sprint race, which we don't see in Formula 2. He's making this performance a masterclass, but in a different way. This time around the outside, this time P1. Here we go. We are battling down to turn number 4, and that's going to be super tight stuff. Around the outside goes Alexander Albon. Albon still dueling with Esteban Ocon. This battle's not done yet. They still run side by side. This is some phenomenal racing, and they're bringing Piastri, Alonso and Sainz into play. On lap 41 of this race, it's all action, it's all drama. We go to turn 10. Piastri looks close as well. Piastri looks close enough to make the move. He's going to go to the inside of turn 11. And Oscar Piastri runs wheel to wheel. Does he inch ahead? This is going to be to the fast turn number 12. It's millimeter stuff between 7th and 8th. Ocon versus Oscar Piastri. Piastri has to get out of it, and now watch him behind. Alonso, our reigning champion in the fantasy series, is behind. Carlos is also behind. Two Spaniards are about to go on the attack, waiting for some room to open because Ocon and Piastri are still going at it. Out of the final corner and down the start-finish straight. And it's going to be Piastri who can relief for a moment as you have Alonso dishing out the overtake on Ocon. Sainz trying to do the same. He's trying to pull around the outside. The outside of 1 to the inside of 2 and 3. And that's the position gained for Carlos Sainz. He moves past and he moves up to 9th. That's how quickly it can change. Ocon, after battling with Albon, now down to 10th. Here we go to the braking zone. And we now find ourselves in a situation where we've got Tsunoda attacking Jack Doohan, or at least attempting to. The yellow flags flying around this circuit. And off the road goes Hulkenberg. The kick Sauber is off the road. The driver in 15 finds himself out. Okay, this is him to turn 1. Let's listen in.
So, I lost the engine, I lost drive.
Well, we heard it. Here we go. Overtaking coming. And that is going to be Alonso getting past Alexander Albon. Down into turn number 1. Oscar Piastri wheel to wheel. And that is with Carlos Sainz, who actually gets by. So a nice switch going on momentarily. Wanting to fight back immediately though is the McLaren driver. Prepared to send it up the inside. Let's hear from Max.
Mode 7, when you're ready, Max. Mode 7, to the end.
Max is going to go on the attack. And Carlos gets past Oscar Piastri. Max Verstappen is on the back. Battle for second place in the final stages. Verstappen to the outside, gets ahead of Gasly and moves up to second place. Only one car denying him race victory, and his name is Charles Leclerc. Verstappen's been pushing, he's been closing in. Is there anything he can give at the end? This is absolutely unbelievable stuff. Max has got a chance to win this. We're on to the last lap. He's not had a sniff of the lead other than lap 1 where he started on pole. He's going to the outside into the braking zone. Verstappen versus Leclerc. These two old rivals now dueling for Grand Prix victory. On the last lap, Leclerc's over the curb and Verstappen takes the lead. Max Verstappen gets to the front of the field. Leclerc with the latest dive bomb. Don't hit the front again, but he runs wide in the process, and Verstappen might be reinstated. Leclerc doesn't want to give it up. They're side by side through this opening sector of this circuit. Verstappen now in front. Gasly closes in and is hoping and praying that there's some form of drama. Leclerc goes down to turn number 10. Tucked up behind Verstappen. One last DRS zone to go. Verstappen's gonna give it his all to defend this. Leclerc closing in, has to go to the outside line. And it's gonna be a brilliant move from Charles Leclerc. If he can keep it on the road, he'll be wide once again. And Verstappen retakes it. Into turn number 12 they go. And it's gonna be Leclerc close to making contact. This one could be a drag race to the line. These two giving it their all. Leclerc alongside to the final turn we go on this circuit. Verstappen keeping his foot in. Leclerc trying to stand on the power. It's gonna be so close between these two drivers to the line, and Charles Leclerc takes the victory. Somehow Charles Leclerc maintains the position to win the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Let's go, come on! That's exactly how we should start the season.
Unbelievable! Ferrari erupt! Dejection for Verstappen! Gasly there to congratulate his friend. And it's been a day of highs and lows for Leclerc. The majority of them being highs. And it's what takes him to Grand Prix victory in Bahrain. Charles Leclerc, the brilliant winner, ahead of Max Verstappen. And then it was Gasly who finished in 3rd place in the race. It was Lewis Hamilton in 4th, George Russell in 5th, Alonso in 6th, Alexander Albon in 7th, and then it was Sainz in 8th. Oscar Piastri just ahead of his countryman Jack Doohan, who is doing really well at Alpine. That's a 2nd 10th place finish like he had in Australia. After he was able to get 10th there, he's got 10th once again. Fast lap going to Charles Leclerc, 1/10 separating our top 2 across the line. Ocon in 11th, he was part of a lot of our battling today. Then it was Tsunoda, Lawson, Stroll, Norris for the race to forget. Same applies to Kimi Antonelli, Bortoletto in 17th, Hülkenberg, Stroll and Behrman all had technical issues, which saw them fade out of our race early. How deserved. Charles Leclerc lifting the trophy. Charles Leclerc getting to lift that trophy on the top step of the podium, and he's had to fight for lots of victories in his career, but that one might just top them all. He finds himself 17 points clear of Max Verstappen after winning back-to-back races in the fantasy season. What a way to start his campaign in 2025. It's Gasly in 3rd, then it's Norris, Alonso, Piastri, Hamilton, Russell, Albon and Bortoletto being able to score 4 points in his opening 2 rounds in Formula 1. Carlos Sainz is the only driver to score points on the 2nd page, and he has 2 to his name. Kimi Antonelli will want to try and be added to that list as he heads to his home race next time out at Imola. It will be a challenging venue for the field to tackle, but ones that these drivers will all hope to navigate with ease. But for now though, the podium has celebrations and champagne being sprayed absolutely everywhere, and they deserve it. After a brilliant performance, Ferrari find themselves on top before they head to their home race at Imola. That's going to be one brilliant thing that they can head to that venue with. Red Bull are in second. They're 1 point ahead of McLaren, and then it's Alpine in fourth, Aston Martin, then Williams. Mercedes will be disappointed in seventh. Then it is Kick Sauber, who are ahead of Haas and Racing Bulls, who haven't scored points. And we will turn our attention to Imola, and we'll see you there very soon.